Okay, so the next thing is I want to do the UVs. UVs for the body. And I'm going to lay them out in kind of a fancy way. Oh, I've still got the hand thing to deal with. Okay, let's just go in and take a look-see-poo. If I grab my faces, turn off soft selection. Whoop, double click. Get rid of that edge. Woo! Okay, and I got my teeth in place, got my eyeballs in place, and everything like that. That's cool. I could lay out the UVs for the eyes and teeth later on. What I'm going to do is open up my UV editor, and of course it pops over here, and I got this stupid floaty thing here, and I don't want to link it back up again. And if I take this mesh and I do a quick UV camera based, bloop. Okay, so it just goes and it basically sews all the faces back together again. Right? That's one of those fast little tricks you can do. You could even, if you thought about it, let's see if I go in here and I grab, let's do something tricky, like let's go in here and grab these faces here, and then if I go like this, grow selection, grow, and I'm just going to keep hitting G, grow up my leg. Oh yeah, right there. That's the spot. Do I want to do one more? How about another? Oh. And if I just go ahead and I hit UV camera base, boop, it just breaks that piece off for me, right? And then I can figure out how to cut it. So instead of going in here and cutting edges, I could do that if I wanted to. Let's do the same thing here with, say, the foot. Actually, you know what? This would just be faster just to cut it. Let's cut this one. Okay, so I get that nice little edge loop there. I got a little cut button. I went in here to, where the hell was I? View, and I put on the toolbar. You hold down Control and Shift, you can put little buttons on here. Okay, and I do believe when I'm looking at this foot, because I was using the ZBrush ZRemesher, yeah, see right there, I'm getting a weird spiral. How about this one? Still another stinking spiral. How about that one? Oh, this looks promising. Okay, no one's going to see his feet anyway, so it's not really a big deal. What about that one? No, don't do that. So let's just cut that one. And then I'll take this and I'll go running down to here. Go down, see if I can get myself down to the bottom of the foot again. Just cut there. And oh, where is it? It's right here. So if I do this, there. And I'm just going to deselect that, and deselect that, there, and cut. There's one that needs to be sewn. Okay, great. And I think I'll cut this in the back of the foot. Okay, so I'll unfold nicely. And then typically with the inside of the leg, let's see if I can follow this. There. I'll just zoom up into here. Cut it. I probably should have just taken that one straight up into here. There. Great. That's a good. There. Okay, so I'm cutting that bottom part here. And let's just go and see if I can loop around. And where did that one go? If. And around and hit this pole on the other side and double click. Cut. Okay, and let's see if I can go in here in the wrist area, right here. I'll cut it, and I usually like to cut right here. Cut it out there. And here's another little trick. You want to get that line, but you don't want to, like if I double click on this line right here, double click, it'll go through the hand as well. Right, and that went up into the torso. Actually, that's not a bad cut, but it went into the leg and everything like that too, right? Well, if you find that little line here, this one, double click. So it went here. It stopped at the border edge because I'm inside the UV editor. It went, and it went to this one right here. Okay, so I can cut that. So you can find the same line over here. This is going to be tricky. Actually, was that the line that I liked? Something under the arm anyway, right there. So then if I go over here and double click, go on you bastard, there, it'll stop when it hits the border edge of the UV shell, and then you can cut it. instead of having to go in there and do other things. Okay, great. And let's see if we can find this one here. So on the side, so do the same trick again. I'm just going to find this one, double click, whoop, and go, and it goes right over to the thumb. So I cut through all these fingers, just the way I wanted it to. There, and double click, cut, good. Hands are done. And let's see, what do we got here? We got a neck. Neck. There. And I'll cut that. His chin comes out a fair ways. So I almost consider, you know what, actually I might leave that neck as part of this. And I'll just kind of cut this somewhere around here maybe. Yeah, keep the neck as part of his torso here. And also too, should I find a line? This line sucks. Goes up into here someplace. And this is what I was complaining about earlier. I want to almost retopologize this so that these lines kind of come a bit more directly over here and they don't swoop over. Let's see what that look like. I'm going to do this for now, just because. So that's cut. And here, just to prove everything's like separate pieces. Yay! Okay, great. And what else do I want to do in here? How about this ear? See that ear? It gives me a nice little spiral. God damn it. How about if I get a bit tighter here to the ear? And I'm going to go from here. Okay, and I'm going to go a little bit underneath here, so let's just go to here. I'll cut that puppy. Okay, and we've got to cut out the mouth sock and the eye sock. So I'm just going to find my way in, just inside of the eye here. Great. And I'll cut that. And find that mouth sock, and I'll say this one right here. Cut. Okay, and that should be fine. Actually, let's just do a couple more things here. We're on the eye sock and the mouth sock. I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna find a nice edge like right there. And let's just deselect this stuff in the back, and I'll cut that open. And maybe this eye sock as well. No one's really going to see this. I don't know why I'm getting excited, but I am. Just going to double click. And we can cut this eye sock in half so it'll unfold a bit nicer. Okay, and I'm just trying to see what I was looking at here. So if I deselect these puppies, there, cut. Okay, so I got all the pieces cut up. And if I went in here and I grabbed all their UVs at once, and I hit modify and I hit unfold, double check the settings here. Unfold 3D is on, layout UVs. You can try laying them out. They sometimes will put them along the edge here, which I don't like. Okay, so you'll see that some of these will end up right on the edge. Actually, this one's being fine. Why? Why is it behaving? Okay. Let's see. So what I might like to do is I get these kind of set up. It depends upon my character and how much UV space they're going to take up. If I go in here and I grab, say, this bunch of UVs here, actually usually what I'll do is I'll move them all. Let's move them up here someplace where I'm not going to use that. Double click, and there's my leg, my foot, and my other part of my foot. And I'm just going to see if I grab these and I hit modify layout, and if I hit apply, it moves everything in. God damn it. Okay, so I might want to try to pack them in here. So I can kind of manually figure out like what's gonna look good, and I'll put this one down here, take this one, put it up here. Okay. Okay, that should be more than good enough. I could maybe make this leg just a tiny bit bigger. If you're going to really see it, try to maximize it. Just don't touch the edge here, because otherwise ZBrush is going to have a fit on you. And I'll take these, and I'm just going to hit my arrow key, and oh, it only goes back by 1. That's a stupid UV toolkit. In transform, it defaults to move 0.1, so you got to go in here and find this, change that to 1, and now when you use the, actually now of course, am I allowed to undo that? Yeah, okay. Now when I hit the arrow key on my keyboard, it'll move over exactly 1 unit, so I don't have to go in here and use this silly navigation here. So there's a leg. And then we'll go in and I'll get the arm. There's my arm, my hand. And let's just take this, and I'm going to try to find a nice way to place that in. Okay, and get the hand. Put these close together. See if I can fit them into the 0 to 1 area. Great. And then I'll just arrow key that over. 1, 2, there. Okay. And as I'm going, so I got those things done. The head we'll save till last. Same with these things. How about the chest here? Well, we've got the arms and the legs done. So that's the big one here, because those are the symmetrical pieces that we have to worry about. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to mirror this thing. So I'll go over and I'll do my little shift right click and I'll mirror that. Okay, with the settings. Make sure that you check and you don't get any weird triangles or anything like that in here. Everything should be good. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is let's just take a look here at the UVs for these pieces. If I go to modify layout, so single objects per object overlapping. Is there any way out of this? If I hit this right now, they'll all go and they'll all move into the 0 to 1 area, right? So I don't want that. So if I just actually hit the unfold, those will only unfold those ones there. This one here, this unfold, memorize that I usually have the layout UV setting off on that unfold. You can make 2 different buttons so you don't have to open up this option window. You used to be able to right click on this and it would open up an options window. Can't do that anymore. So I'm going to do this again. And you bastard. Why can't I do my trick? Layout UVs. Okay, fine. Screw you all to hell. So these ones are unfolded. Here, I'm just going to move this over here. And let's go and hit these things up. So this is the other side right here. I'd like to kind of join them into one, so maybe what I'll do is let's just go in here to UVs, and or actually even better than that, how about we just take these faces and I go up and I use UV, camera based. Okay, great. Then select UVs, and then I go and I hit unfold. So there's my front chest in the middle of my Udom space. 1, 2, 3. And let's go over here and do this. So there's my back pieces here, and I'll just cheat again. I'll do this, grab the faces, hit UV camera based, select the UVs, hit unfold, and then it of course did something funky like this. I wonder if I hit it twice, will it give me, sometimes it gives me a slightly different result if I hit it again. I'll do this, of course. Yes, that's not what I wanted. I'm just gonna eyeball it. There's another trick here. Here's another good one. So let's see, maybe I didn't like how it did this behavior right here. It went over and it tilted it. So if I go and I grab that UV right there, there. So I'm just going to put these 2 points here, and I'll make sure that they're snapped to the grid. So I'm just going to hold down X and... Oh, you bastard! How about I grab the scale tool, flatten them, and then I'll hold down X while I'm moving it, and... I hope this thing isn't... Come on, you bastard. There we go. Snap to the grid. Then, if I select all the other UVs and I leave those unselected, when I hit the unfold... You bastard. Modify, layout, unfold, layout UVs. That's interesting. It shouldn't have done it like that. What if I go to Legacy and I pin UVs, pin unselected UVs? Okay, pin UV border. No, go back to unfold. That's interesting. It didn't used to do that. Okay, well, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to do this all manual because it's just taking up too much time. And I should almost edit this out of the video. Come on, you bastard! Rotate. That was one of my fancy tricks from way back in the day. We'll say that's good enough right there. I'm just going to move that over. There. And now the face. So with the face, close. Uh-oh. Somebody might be crashing. That might be what's going on, because something's acting a little bit funky. If I grab these pieces here, I'm just going to sew those back together again. Okay, go in here and I'm going to grab this edge. And I'll use move and sew. Boop. Okay, and that went and sewed all those pieces together. I'm just going to go in here and grab these edges as well, and we'll sew those. We got the mouth here, because I typically don't like to have cuts in the face. And I'll just take this down here and say that's good, and we'll sew that. And I might just do a quick little split here, because I suspect... Actually, how's that going to work out? That shouldn't be too bad, just having that cut there under the chin. Might go and do something like this. Cut that. And I think that should be fine. Let's hit unfold and see what happens. There. So it's relaxing the jaw a little bit under the chin. And it got everything else. Sometimes I'll find that this is a little bit much, this cut across here, so... or this area here tends to stretch, I notice, and I don't like that. So if I do something like this, whenever it's going on to kind of a 45-degree angle or something like that, I just find this area here will probably be much happier if I split it. Actually, I just thought of something. I'm going to try another trick. Okay, so let's take this, and I'm going to place it here. And still got those things sitting there. Okay, great. I'm going to try grabbing this one, and I'm going to hold down X, move it up here, and I'll grab one just maybe below the chin. How about there? And I'm just going to hold down X, and I'll snap it right here. And I'll grab the rest of these. So we were having no luck with the unfolds on this one, but if you go down here, there's a hidden little tool in the unfold options here that I tend to like. There's an unfold brush. Okay, so unfold along. So this one here is an unfold tool. And I'm just going to make the brush bigger. Or is it too big already? Is this the paint one? Everything is lagging a little bit. Okay, there it is. Suddenly it's showing up. When I do this, it'll paint and it'll leave those points locked where they are. So if I make the brush bigger, Okay, and it's leaving those points locked. And so if I do something like this, that didn't work the way I'd hoped it would. How about I just hit unfold? Yeah, and then I'm just going to make this really big. Bigger than the whole thing. Do it once. And it straightened it all up. Now it's really big. And if I go in here, double click, get all my UVs again. Make them smaller. I have soft selection on. That's why it started lagging like crazy. Soft selection was on. Okay, but anyway, it kind of straightened them up. So there is another trick. And let's see, I'm just going to take this and I'll move it down here. I always kind of like to have the character staring at me. Don't make it stare at me anymore. And there's my eyeball pieces. I think those are the eyeball pieces. I can't tell. I have to go in there and look. Oh, there's ears, eyeballs, and the inside of the mouth. And it looks like everything here is relatively unfolded. I don't think anyone's going to notice these problems. If I just go and double click on this again, get the unfold tool, and it's very big. Actually, this unfold tool, yeah, it's coming in really, really large now. I'm holding down B and I'm middle clicking, and it's supposed to change the size of the tool, but it's choking. Maybe it's because I got lots of history. So let's just take this puppy, go back here, and I'll just delete the history really quick, and I'll see if that helps when I go back to UVs. Use this unfold tool. Nope. Unless it doesn't think I'm on the unfold tool again. Yeah, it doesn't want to pick this up. What if I do optimize? Not happy. So I'm probably going to have to shut this down in a second. But we've got one more issue in here. What are we at? 22 minutes? Okay, we've got one more issue. And that is that the arms and legs are on top of each other here. Now, Mari does recognize this, so if you want them to be the same, you can actually do this and get away with it. But you'll notice that when you're trying to, like for color maps, it'll work out, but for bump maps and stuff like that, that's when you run into issues. So, if I go to UV shells, and I get this UV shell, turn off soft selection, turn off soft selection, it's not turning off. What the freak tool do I have on? Okay. Actually, just hold on a second. So if I turn off soft selection now, okay, that's part of those freaking tools with the whatever. So if I take this and I move it up, okay, so I just moved it up, and I could do the same thing with these things here for the arms. So I'll move those up, and if I take those, there's an option here under Modify to flip. There. You just want to make sure that worked. When I flipped them, they flipped in the UV space and the UDIM space, and they maintain the same. So what you can do is you can copy this patch of color in Mari, go up here and paste it and flip it, and it'll be exactly the same. So that's what I want to do here too. Grab those, modify, flip. Yay! Just double checking. It's about the right space. I don't want to measure it exactly, but it should be about right. And if it's not, then I'll have to make another video on how the hell I corrected that. But there it is. My UVs are laid out and ready to go, all in wonderful UDIM spaces. And that's the end of this one.